So welcome to San Jose Airport. Wow, fancy meeting you here. The old expression is we have to stop meeting like this. No, we have to continue meeting like this. For me, it's reasonably early, breakfast time on Monday morning. For you, given the time difference, I think it's probably 1974. Bouncing off the back of a big US men's team, and you know I'm a lifelong USMNT fan. There you go, I got it. 6-0 against Trinidad and Tobago. Dwight York's Trinidad and Tobago. I don't really intend to give you any kind of run of play, except to point out that for the US men's team and Mauricio Pochettino, this victory was really important. They'd been pushed about the last few games. I mentioned before that they'd been beaten by Turkey in pretty unfortunate circumstances, a defeat that now doesn't look all that bad, given the way that they were slapped about by Switzerland. But they gave Trinidad and Tobago a real going over, hard work on a poor pitch. What fascinated me, and what I hope will at least catch passing interest from you, is I've been asked to give a Michael Palin style My Jolly Diaries. And frankly, I am really interested in what I've seen in this part of California, the Bay Area, the way in which the US soccer culture functions, and what the stadium experience was like. So for example, all over the place there were people dressed up as Uncle Sam, there were people wearing US men's team shirts. Yeah, fine. But everywhere you looked, there was a Bayern Munich shirt, a Real Madrid shirt, there was a guy in an Arsenal Declan Rice shirt, a Fiorentina shirt, Inter Miami shirts, Argentina's national team shirt with Messi on the back. There were far many more international football shirts than there were Trinidad and Tobago shirts. And not on an equal footing with those dressed up and geared up with Uncle Sam stuff. A man with a big eagle mask on, a huge eagle head on him. Kind of unbelievable to look at in that heat. But equally, the stadium culture, all around it, events happening, kids being face painted, umpteen different places where you could shoot against the goalkeeper into big inflatable goals. There was a gigantic family atmosphere in PayPal Park. Only 12,000 people attended, but it's stuff that leaves you aghast if you're a Scottish football fan. Because when I first went down to work in England, I found that, you could have a pint at the stadiums. It was like, well, that's unbelievable. After the 1981 Scottish Cup final riot at Hampden, which was pretty entertaining viewing, given that it was between the Ugly Sisters and we were just interested observers. No booze sold to the public, to the fans at Scottish football grounds. Yeah, you can have a little bit of a bevy down in England, but in this area, there were bars everywhere where you could sit within sight of the pitch and have your gin and tonic, have your whiskey, have a pina colada. Absolutely extraordinary scenes. Really nice VIP boxes. We worked in one, filmed in one, where you go in, there's a sofa, there's a giant screen TV, there's food and drink everywhere, and you walk straight out onto the deck and then down into your seat, which is touchline friendly and right next to Dwight York and Mauricio Pochettino. I hope the lads are going to be able to edit in what I'm showing you now, because there was a small hardcore, ultra is maybe not quite the right description, but a really small hardcore bunch, about 50 or 60 people, who sang and danced, sometimes really amusingly, constantly. This is, you're about to watch the teams coming out, and then you're about to watch Phil from Chicago, whose little drumming, singing, chanting army were such good fun. Spoke to him at the end, and he was brilliant because he sang and chanted for, at a time included, about 98 minutes. His drummers all around him were fantastic. His dad was there with Grandad Chicago on the back, and the noise they made was fantastic. Matt Freese, the goalkeeper, was the first amongst the US team to say, let's go back. We must go back and say thank you to these guys. Afterwards, interviewing me, he said, look, this was only Matt Freese, the goalkeeper's second cap and his first international cap. He said, when you're not a pro footballer, you hear pro soccer players saying, thanks to the fans, we really felt them, it really mattered. He said, and I kind of didn't believe it until today. I do now, it mattered to us. Chris Richards, the big centre-half from Crystal Palace, who's just glowing with life and fun and confidence after being part of the squad that helped Crystal Palace win the FA Cup at Wembley against Manchester City. He promised me in our pre-match interview, I'm going to take what I did, I'm going to take that confidence into this game, and he did. He bossed it, he absolutely bossed it. Big Patrick Adjamang up front grinned with sheer delight. He said, I said, listen, Patrick, you moved those players around. You worked Trinidad so that the guys in behind you could have space. And he just went, oh, yeah, man, that's my game. He said, I like to bully defenders. It was fun talking to him. The little star of the show was a little chunky, dyed blonde hair, peroxide hair, Diego Luna, born locally, born in San Jose. A guy who had his parents and his girlfriend and his little kid there crying when the national anthem came on. He probably gave a man of the match performance, 2 assists. The crowd adored him. It was fun to see a positive human story, an upbeat human story, particularly in this strange country where either people are blasé and rude and faces like industrial rubber, or they're all over you. I got you, man. Thank you. Good morning. How are you today? There's only 2 types of species here. The dead inside rubber-faced fuckwit, and then there's the one who's like, I love you, man. I'm glad you're in my country. How can I help you today? What a fucking experience this is. Onwards and upwards to Austin, where it's going to be hot and sweaty and stinky. It's going to be brutal, but it's more football, and I can't wait. I'll see you on the other side. Meantime, stay tuned.